Hello and welcome back to another Hitfilm tutorial. Today I'm going to be introducing you to Hitfilm Express. But this is the first time that you've ever opened up the software, or however many times you've used it. I hope you find this video interesting, and if you do, leave a like and subscribe and press the bell icon for notifications. So, let's get into this tutorial. So as you can see, you have the home screen. This screen has got latest YouTube videos, notifications for sales, and other things happening on the FXhome website. You've also got reviews and comments from community users, and also some community content. This page will change and update all the time. It's quite interesting to look at if you don't know what to do. Then if you look to the left of the screen, you can see there is this bar, which has got new, open. On mine I've got a list of projects, then there is the user guide, and then there are all of the different add-on packs. If this is the first time that you are using Hitfilm Express, you won't have any projects saved under this list. This list is projects that you have made in the past, and it's quite useful if you're just wanting to boost it up and continue with the project that you were just working on. The user guide is quite useful, and then these add-on packs are extra additions that you can add to the software. I made a video on it, and that is in the top right corner. If you want to create a new project, then you want to press on the New button. And if you wanted to open a Hitfilm project file, then press on the Open button. I'm just going to press on the New button. And this brings up a panel which is called New Project Settings. This allows you to set the base settings for the project that you're creating. So if you wanted to create something that was full HD, 25 frames per second, you can select that from the list. But then you can also enter custom settings below. And you can also set the duration. This is for the in and out points. Once again, there's another video that explains in and out points in the top right corner. There are also some rendering settings, but we'll get into them another time. So once you've set this project up how you want to have it, just press OK. And then it will load up the interface. This is where you'll be working on your project, your editing, your compositing, your color grading, your sound design, and it could be quite overwhelming if this is the first time that you're opening it. However, once you start getting into it, then you'll find that it's really, really interesting and quite easy to use. Hitfilm's interface is made up of different panels, meaning that you can select one and move it around. On the left side of the screen, you will see that there is the Media tab. This is where it will display and store your media and your planes and your composite shots. If you want to import pictures and videos into your projects, then just press this import button. And if you would like to import any of these things, so image sequences, composite shots, 3D camera tracking data, 3D models, or 3D animation, then you can select them from the list that is next to the import button. There are also some pre-made templates that are inside of Hitfilm. I did make a video where I explain how you can create this glitch effect and also how you can install templates into the software. There is a link in the description. And if you select one of these, you can press import and then it will import it. And if you want to create a new composite shot, then press up here. Or if you want to create a new plane, which will then be added to the media tab. At the bottom of your screen, you will have the timeline. At the moment it's set up on the editor mode, and there are no other options. But if you created a new composite shot, then you can see that a new tab is added to the timeline. And this is where you can work on more advanced visual effects shots. Whereas the editor is more for just cutting, slicing, stretching, and editing your clips together. I will have a tutorial coming out soon of how to edit videos inside of Hitfilm Express. Then, in the biggest panel on the screen, you have the viewer. This is where it displays what you're working on. It's also got the small toolbar that is next to it with the selection tool, the translate tool, the text tool, the rectangle mask tool, the ellipse mask tool, and also the freehand mask tool. These mask tools will be used if you want to cut out areas in your videos or in your pictures. Then there is also the export tab, and this is where you will be taken if you're exporting your projects. I have made a tutorial on how to export videos out of Hitfilm Express, and there is a link in the description and in the top corner. Then you will have your effects tab, and this is where you will find the effects that you can use in your videos. There is a text tab where you can create, if you create some text, you can then select it, and then you can change the font, the color, and the size, how much of a border it has, and also how spaced out it all is. Something else that's quite interesting about Hitfilm is its workspace options. And if you go into the window selections, you can see that there is an option called workspaces, where you can create your own workspaces and you can select out of some of the presets. And if your display looks different when you first load it up to mine, that will most likely be because I have got my workspace set to being compositing. As you can see, I've got some quite common buttons up in the top corner, and you won't have them when you first load into the software. So to activate these, you want to go into File, Options, and then there is a toggle box which says Show Quick Actions in Menu Bar, and as you can see, when it's unchecked there are none of the icons in the top corner, and then if I select it you can see that we have the open button, the save button, the back button, and the forward button. Then if you want to create a new layer in your composite shots, you can press on the new layer option, and this will bring up okay. And now back to the timeline. So inside of a composite shot you will have a button that says new layer. If you select this, it will bring up some more options of things that you can add to the timeline. This isn't in the editor, and it can only be accessed in the composite shot editor. So if you just wanted to create a new plane, this is the same as a solid in After Effects. Then you can set its width, its height, you can set its aspect ratio, and you can select its color. And if you want more color options, then you can select on this box, and then it brings up a color selector. And then you can name it, and as you can see, it has now created a white plane, where you can then hide it, you can then lock it, meaning that then you can't move it around, you can't hide it, then you can unlock it, then you can set it up with a color. And this will make it easier for you to see it in the future. Then if you toggle down the arrows, then it will give you more controls. And then if you want to see the controls larger and with more control, then go over to the Controls tab. This will give you some layer properties, also allow you to add effects and masks, and then you can have the same options that you had down here. There are also some tools in the toolbar on the editor timeline, and these are quite useful because they're kind of your basics. You have a slice tool where you can chop up your plane layer, where you can chop up your layer. You then have a hand tool so you can navigate the timeline. You also have the selector tool, and you also have the rate stretch tool. At the bottom you have your composite shot settings. You also have the snapping tool, which if you turn it off you can see that it's a lot more glidey. If you turn it back on, it will try and snap it to the location of other things. Then at the bottom you will have some mountains. You'll have some small mountains on the left hand side and some larger mountains on the right hand side. And if you click on these mountains, then it will increment your zoom. Or you could just use the bar at the bottom to zoom in and out. And then you can use the hand tool to move around. You also have some more options at the top of the timeline, and you have some keyframe controls. You then have the value graph, which is kind of more keyframe controls. You then have controls for when you're inside of the value graph. Then you have your export buttons. Once again, I made a video how to export, link in the description. Then at the bottom of the viewer you have your zoom controls. You also have your rendering properties for inside of the viewer. So if you say had a slightly slower computer, or you were using some really really advanced effects and things that were quite taxing on your computer, you could lower the paused resolution, and that would just make it slightly less in quality in the viewer, but it would mean that your computer was able to run faster, meaning that it would all update real time. Then you have some more options. Then you have got a loop playback, you have got a set in point, and then a set out point. And this will only play what is in between the in and out points. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, then please leave a like and subscribe. And if you want some more like beginner tutorials for if this is the first time that you're using Hitfilm, then please tell me in the comments. And if there is a specific thing that you want to learn how to do, once again, tell me in the comments, because I really want to know what tutorials I should be making. And also follow me on Instagram at ndpproductions_workshop for like small uploads and tips for using Hitfilm. I'm hoping to do something like that every once in a while, maybe every few days, especially over the next few weeks and months. See you next time. Goodbye.